Welcome to Quantum Finance. My name is Parker, and this is our end of week recap for the week ending September 15th. So, in this video, we'll take a look at all the charts, and then we'll go over some news from this week, and then we'll take a look at the economic calendar for next week. So, starting here with the stock market with the S&P 500 SPY ETF, red week this week, back-to-back red weeks here in the stock market. If you look over here at the daily chart, as you see, yesterday we actually were green on the week, and then this morning with the quad witching, we'll go over that later. But as you can see, a big gap down this morning and massive sell-off today, with the market down over 1.5%, taking us red here on the week, closing right down here at last week's lows. So still in this overall uptrend on the weekly chart, but as you can see, just kind of chopping around here, which is what I thought would happen from a couple of videos ago. If you remember that saying, I just thought we would kind of chop around in this phase with these bands here just going sideways. So now we can look at the debt market with the U.S. 10-year yield green week here in the 10-year yield going up for another retest of these previous highs back here from August. As you can see on the daily chart, bouncing off this midline yesterday and getting a nice push up here today. Looking at the dollar, another green week here in the dollar. What's new, right? As you can see, just this massive up move we've gotten here in the dollar. Kind of sitting here right above these previous closes from last February. But as you can see, these highs back here from March sitting at 105.88. So we're only about 50 cents away from these previous swing high back here on March, which I do expect to be a fairly major level of resistance here in the dollar. I mean, we definitely need to pull back here on the dollar. As you can see, this is just crazy, parabolic straight up. Now we can turn to cryptocurrencies. Looking at Bitcoin here, first green week in over a month here on Bitcoin. If you remember last week's video, I did say I expected a bullish reversal this week, coming down and putting a new low on Monday and then getting that bullish engulfing candle on Tuesday, getting above that week or that daily midline here on Thursday and pulling back into it, holding it as support today. So nice move here on Bitcoin, looking pretty kind of squeezed here on the daily chart, but nice to see this kind of bullish reversal here coming in. Turning to XRP, green week here in XRP, not quite as bullish as Bitcoin yet. As you can see, still below our daily midline here, but it does look like it kind of wants to get its bullish reversal. If you ask me, this weekly candle does kind of look like a bottoming candle with this big hammer tail wick. Turning to commodities, we have oil, massive week here in oil, continuing its parabolic move to the upside. As you can see here, getting that trend reversal a couple weeks ago, and we just haven't slowed down since, just going straight up. Pretty much every day this week, just all green. If you look here at the weekly chart, as you see, approaching these major resistance level back here at about this $93 level. Looking at gold, green week here in gold, getting a nice bounce today, up over 0.5% today, getting above that daily midline, looking like it wants to get a bullish reversal here on the daily chart, still pretty bearish on the weekly chart. Looking at silver, green week here in silver as well. As you can see, bouncing off that lower extreme yesterday and coming up and testing that midline today. So maybe it does want to get a bullish reversal as well. As you can see, silver down here testing the low of its weekly range. So now we can go over some news from the previous week. So today was that quad witching, which I was talking about earlier. This day only comes 4 times a year. So what happens is you have stock index options expiring, stock options expiring, stock index futures expiring, and single stock futures expiring. So just a ton of options contracts and futures contracts expiring today, which does lead to a lot of volatility. As you can see today, we had that big red day today. We also had the United Auto Workers Union announcing a major strike against Ford and General Motors. I'm pretty sure this all started today. I did see videos of the Ford CEO saying that if the union workers get what they want, like Ford will be bankrupt. We also have a chart here showing Saudi Arabia's treasury holdings down 40% from the peak in February of 2020, as you see the massive drop here in the petrodollars. This is a chart here showing cattle futures ripping here to all-time highs. This is another chart here showing a net 51% of U.S. banks are now tightening their lending standards, the highest since 2020, and at levels that have coincided with recessionary periods in the past. As you can see, the previous recessions here all have massive spikes in the tightening lending standards. We also have Bloomberg reporting that cocaine is set to overtake oil as Colombia's biggest export. This is a chart showing the national debt now increased by 1.51 trillion since the debt ceiling was suspended 3 months ago and is fast approaching the $33 trillion mark. In the past 5 years, the national debt has increased by 54%, moving from 21.4 trillion up to 32.98 trillion. We also had Binance's U.S. CEO resigning. This is a chart here from OPEC. They did say that the global oil markets will face a massive supply shortfall next quarter. They expect a supply shortfall of more than 3 million barrels per day. If OPEC is correct, it would result in the biggest inventory drawdown since 2007. Voluntary production cuts by OPEC members are removing 1.3 million additional barrels of oil supply every single day. So that's, another reason why we have that massive move to the upside here in oil. As you know, the fight against inflation continuing on. We also had inflation CPI data come out on Wednesday, and inflation did rise to 3.7% in August from 3.2% in July. We also had interest payments equal military spending for the first time in 3 decades, 1.9 trillion combined. So now we can look at the economic calendar for next week. So it looks like Tuesday we get building permits. Wednesday is a massive day. We get the Federal Reserve interest rate decision. Thursday we get initial jobs claims, the Fed manufacturing index, existing home sales, and Friday we get some global services PMI. So yeah, that'll do it for the video. Appreciate y'all watching, and I'll talk to y'all later.